Format your resume. Yes, use font sizes between 10 to 12. I think the least that you can go down is 8. Anything smaller than that is microscopic. So I wouldn't particularly recommend it because it's not very clearly visible. Select a font that is clean. I've seen people using fonts like chalkboard in their resumes. Don't do that. Comes across as again very very unprofessional. I personally use Helvetica. Whenever I've applied for roles, I've used Helvetica. I think it's a wonderful font, a personal favorite. But you can go for Arial, you can go for Times New Roman, you can go for Trebuchet, you can go for Calibri. There's some other decent fonts that you can try out, but don't try anything that's fancy, right? Too many curves, or very very thick fonts are not recommended. Leave page margins. One of the most exciting things that, or stupid things that I've done with my own resume is that because I wanted to accommodate like a lot of points, right? I used to look at it from that perspective back when I was in college. So I used to just reduce the page margins. So I remember when I applied for the first consulting role, I got a rejection mail. I mean, not that I was disqualified for the job. I eventually got the job, but I initially got a mail back from them saying that please leave a page margin, and that was very embarrassing for me personally because I thought that I was just being smart, right? I was able to accommodate like more content in less space, but don't be that person. It's always good to leave at least a page margin of 1 inch, uh, because I think that way the resume looks clear. And in case you're facing problems with respect to what content you got to eliminate, then that's a good problem to have, because that means that you have a lot of worthwhile stuff to talk about, which is usually rare, right? So then the odds are that there will be some stuff which might not be, you know might not be very relevant. Now, how do you know if something is relevant or not? We will come to that very soon. Use bullet points when listing several different pieces of information, like under your education and professional history. So yeah, don't write paragraphs, don't write stories, don't write anecdotes. You have to keep it very very professional, right? So how should the content look like? We'll come to that very very soon. See, grammatical errors in a management consulting role, you're gone. Let's be honest. There is no way you can risk it. So don't. You can also ask trusted friends, colleagues, or family members to review your resume only if your friends, colleagues, family members are working in the corporate and understand at least the basics of how a good resume should look like. Right? In case you don't come from that kind of a background, you don't have to ask them to review your resume because they might just give you points that don't add a lot of value to your resume. Tailor resumes for different positions. So there's something called the applicant tracking system, ATS, right? And a lot of, or application tracking system, a lot of top management consulting firms use these tools to skim through the thousands of resumes that they get on a regular basis, because they want to make sure that they are not hiring people to do all the labor on a regular day or day-to-day basis. So what you got to do is be aware about this, because when you're aware about it, what you'd realize is that you cannot apply with one resume to all the jobs that are out there on LinkedIn, right? What people usually do is that they will spend a lot of time in making the first draft of the resume, and then they're just going to go to LinkedIn and click on easy apply option, right? So there you just have to like upload your resume once and it'll automatically be shared with the recruiter. And I've done it. I've been guilty of it. Right. I remember that was the first time when I sat down and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to use LinkedIn Easy Apply. I made one version of the resume, applied to 10 different roles, did not hear back from any of them. But when I decided to tailor make my resume and apply for the roles, I heard from all of them. I did not get an opportunity at all the places where I applied with tailor-made resumes, but I was able to get a conversion rate of more than 50%, which is a very, very good conversion rate, by the way. So in case you're able to tailor your resumes for the different positions that you're applying for, then you are drastically increasing your chances of making it through. Because there is somebody, sitting in Bombay, I don't know whichever city, who's actually putting in the efforts of going through the job descriptions of each and every profile that they're applying for, and making sure that the content that they're putting into their resumes matches the content that's being asked for in the job description. So ATS has a very simple way of working, right? What it actually does is that it tries to match the things that have been mentioned in the job description of the profile that you're applying for with the content that's mentioned in the resume. So you can actually sit down and make a few tweaks in case you go through the entire job description, you try and understand what they're asking for, and you change the language that you've put into your own resume and make it slightly more similar to what the job description sounds like, right? So for example, let's assume that Lakshya worked on acquiring customers for a newly launched product. Now Lakshya, instead of mentioning that in his resume, could probably tweak it and add that he was responsible. He was a part of a team that was responsible for pulling off the go-to-market strategy for a new product. In case that is exactly what the job description is asking for. So matching those keywords will definitely increase your chances of making it through a relevant consulting position. That is one of the hacks, right? But now everyone is doing it, so you have to do it too.